Hello and welcome to another episode of Rants and Yarn with two best friends. And I'm here alone again because Stefanie's busy. And I'm here on this cloudy Sunday. I'm here again to bring you another article. And not much has happened during the week, so we'll just get right into the article here. It's the college admissions scandal and the banality of scamming. And you all know what this whole college admissions scandal is. And it's mostly those people who can afford to pay their way off for their kids, even if their kids don't know it. My glasses seem a bit off. Anyway. Even if those kids don't even know it that their parents are doing it, they do it. If they know that their parents are doing it and have the affluence to do so, it's like, excuse me, you know, it's crazy to not let your kid try to get in on their own and pay your way off. See, it ends up messing everything in the end, you know? Not worth it. Not worth it when you get caught. Or not worth it when you get caught and nobody wants to cover for you anymore. And people don't mind my glasses if they look like they're not straight, because they are. They are. It just looks off on the video for some weird reason. I just kind of have to tip my head somehow to make it look straight. Anyway. On Monday night, HBO will air Alex Gibney's investigative documentary, The Inventor, Out of Blood in Silicon Valley. And this was in March, so it has already been aired like 2 months ago. So you can probably find a recording of it somewhere and rewatch it. The film, which will also be released in theaters, focuses on the healthcare startup Theranos and its co-founder and CEO Elizabeth Holmes, who, for more than a decade, defrauded investors, board members, and the public when she falsely claimed that her company's blood testing technology, largely non-existent it turned out, revolutionized the medical history. With her spookingly unblinking blue eyes, sonorous, apparently fake baritone, and uniform of Steve Jobs-like black turtlenecks, Holmes is the kind of character whose rise and fall story is made especially riveting to her eccentricities. And Gibney's splashy documentary is widely anticipated. 9-day countdown for the Theranos documentary, a friend posted on Twitter on Sunday, followed by a series of emojis including a bloody syringe and a heart-eyed face. 2 days later, the same friend tweeted, Elizabeth Holmes is pissed she didn't think of this college admission scam first. Excuse me? You want to be the first one to think up of a scam and earn a whole bunch of money, but then later it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. Why do you even want to be involved in a scam? It's going to come back to bite you in the ass. If you don't get jailed for it, you'll be lucky if you just have to pay your way out of it, you know, and still keeping your job. Excuse me, really? I mean, these people, you know, you defraud people and you say, okay, I'm coming out with this, but I need this money and this money to do. And then you just pocket all the money and then you don't bring anything. You don't release anything, but then later you, like, close shop and then nobody hears of you again. It's like, then you have to probably, you're lucky if you can stay where you are and not have to move and go elsewhere, you know. As my colleague Gia Tolentino wrote last June, after the publication of Bad Blood, John Carreyrou's book about the Holmes affair, grifter season comes irregularly often in America. Its reoccurring arrival is marked by the appearance of fraudsters whose flagrant dishonesty captures the public imagination. Their stories allow us to vicariously live out our worst urges, but they also present us with open and shut arcs that show crime doesn't pay, in the world that more often than not suggests that it does. Our hunger for scam stories has lately seemed endless. In the past 12 months, we've had not only Holmes, but also Anna Delvey, the young Russian woman who scammed her way through New York's trendy, moneyed downtown circle, and Billy McFarland, the bro-ish entrepreneur whose fry-fest fraud held so much public fascination that it portrayed in not one but two documentaries this winter. The latest scandal, the one that my friend was tweeting about, emerged on Tuesday, almost as if it were timed to serve as part of a viral marketing strategy, leading up to the Gibney documentary. The tagline, if there was one, might have been, "You like scams, remember?" So yeah, I just told you about Holmes. And then the Anna Delvey story is someone who, how people were able to believe her, that she had money and she was from richness when she really wasn't. She was able to play it off for such a long time that it's scary. But in the end, she got found out, and now she has to do time for it. And even if she gets out of it, she's not going to be the same. She's probably going to end up back in Russia, a poor little girl with nothing to her name anymore. Because nobody's going to help her get a name to herself, you know. And her status will be shot. I mean, when you pretend to be someone you're not, it's going to be found out, and you're going to be shut down, and your status is going to be shot. It will never come back to what you scammed it to be or what you had planned. Because when you plan something and it fails, you just keep going with it, and then later it will backfire on you, you know? And Billy McFarland, you can look up that story if you're really interested to see what scam he did. That's the Fry Fest fraud. This time, the target in question wasn't healthcare but college admissions. In a government investigation that began in 2011 and went by the appealingly retro name Operation Varsity Blues, more than 30 wealthy parents were charged with buying entry to a series of more or less selective schools for their academically middling children. Among the parents were CEOs, a top lawyer, finance bigwigs, and even two Hollywood actors, Felicity Huffman of the mid-2000 nighttime soap Desperate Housewives, and Lori Loughlin of the popular 90s sitcom Full House. Many of the parents are plenty wealthy, and appeared very comfortable lying without compunction to get their way, and with throwing around hundreds of thousands of dollars in their quest to buy status. They were immediately fascinating characters to me. Vulgar, entitled, and unself-aware, they seemed to embody the latest version of the show American ID, not like Bravo's Real Housewives, or the Kardashians, or, for the matter, the Trump family. I mean, yes, all these people are wealthy, and they want to buy their kids' ways into, like, a prestigious college. I mean, like, yeah, maybe their kids are just middle and not really academically up there, but just pay their way, okay. Now your kid can go to the most prestigious college. Now they can get into Hudson University, no issue. Now they can get into Brown University, no issue. You know, just to name a few. And I mean, it's not fair for those who have money that can just pay their way for their kids just to get into an acclaimed university, and not to just accept the fact that, okay, your kid's pretty and she'll make it in the movie industry or she'll make it in the modeling industry, but you gotta face the fact. If she's not gonna make it academically, she's not gonna make it academically. You don't need a prestigious college to define the status of your kid. I mean, not all people who end up big come from a high prestigious university. Not all people are academically inclined, and those who are, great for them. And for those who go to college even though they're not that academically inclined and still graduate, good for them. It doesn't matter where you go. You can go to the low-end university and still graduate with a decent degree and run with that, you know? Because just to have it in your name and say you went to this prestigious school, academically inclined or not, it's nothing to write home about anymore these days, in my opinion, you know? I finished school and I got my bachelor's degree. Now I can it's just happy for everyone to know that I was able to graduate college. That's just what most parents want now from their kids. Just for them to be able to graduate college and have a degree under their degree to their name, and you know, that's good enough for most people, you know. And some people who have kids who didn't go to college or something, they just don't talk about it, but they don't put a bad word to their kids, you know. Their kids are still good. Because you can be a kid with great academics and have a terrible personality and terrible characteristics of you, you know. You can be someone who was like me, who just slid by and got through with it and has a very good characteristic, you know, and has a respect for other people, you know, and is not a snob, you know. And that's why you don't really see Felicity Hoffman anymore after Desperate Housewives. She may still have money to live on, and she might just do small gigs here and there, but you don't hear about her anymore. And now Lori Loughlin, she's probably, I think she's going to end up in jail because she got found out, and she's not going to have anything to her name anymore. I mean, she used to be also on, like, Lifetime and the Hallmark Channel, I think, doing different movies on there too. And, you know, now she won't get any more work, and she'll just have to pay her debt and just move on. And her daughter didn't have to be a smart aleck and make smart aleck remarks herself, like, oh, I'm just going in for the fraternities and the parties, you know, and I'm not really focused on academics too much. It's all the social aspects of college that I'm in there for. And I mean, like, yeah, fine, be in there for that then, if that's really what you want to go to college for, but don't flaunt it, because it's going to come back and bite you. Your remarks are going to come back and bite you. Along with the indictment, the Department of Justice released a 204-page affidavit which contains the facts pertaining to the criminal complaint, including detailed records of communications between the accused parents and William Singer, who ran the scheme. Oh, wow! Okay. There's someone who was running the scheme, and people that were following right under him. He was the top leader of the whole scheme. Well, then, he gets most of the punishment, I suppose. As the owner of the college admissions consulting business in moneyed Newport Beach, California. Oh, we're going to help your kids get into college. Here's what I need from you. Moolah, moolah, moolah. He was making a good business out of himself with all that moolah. As the owner of the college, Singer provided his clients with proctors and test administrators who helped falsify their usually unsuspecting children's SAT and ACT scores, and he bribed college officials to recommend that prospective students be admitted to their institutions as athletes, even though they were nothing of that sort. Oh, now it's just not money being used to get into college. Now it's falsifying test scores, saying that it will look good if you have more people that came in that are in this sports field, but they don't even play that sport. Let's say, okay, this guy, he's buff, get him in for football. But he doesn't even probably know how to play football or has a lick of football experience, football plays from the high school. But get him in for that anyway. Oh, this girl, get her in for, get her in for gymnastics. She's great for it. And never done a tumble in her life. Well, I've done a tumble in my life, but so help me God, I wouldn't make it in the gymnastics team because I'm not flexible, no nothing. I could pass on the dance team, but I can't make I can follow choreography, but I can't create my own, so. In 2018, so you want people to be good, damn it. In 2018, Singer became a witness for the government and agreed to wear a wire. Many of the conversations that are documented in the affidavit were recorded with his knowledge after he was turned. He is referred to in the document as CW-1 or Cooperating Witness 1. Oh, because he didn't want to be part of the scheme no more, so he turned to the other side and now was helping find other people who were down to the scheme because he didn't want to be part of it anymore. Okay, well, fair enough, but so fast to change your position and then put other people under the bus. As I read the documents, I wondered why perusing the minute interactions between Singer and his clients gave me so much pleasure. The people whose words are in the affidavit, save for Singer, post-flip, thought they were doing something that would remain private. Part of what I was experiencing was the slightly gross excitement one feels when sneakily reading a diary, fulfilling the prurient fantasy of observing people behaving despicably as they really are. It is you get a kind of high when you find someone's diary and read it, especially if you know that person or it's someone who's dead and you want to see their history and what they were like. It gives you a real high. But what captured my attention even more was the sheer everydayness of the documented conversations, whose polite blandness in the context of their apparent criminality often led to high comedy. In one moment, Laughlin expresses her happiness at her younger daughter's fraudulent acceptance at the University of Southern California by texting Singer a high-five emoji. Oh, so it was just the University of Southern California. It wasn't even like a really high-end college. But still, I mean, to bribe your way into that college and not even get there on your own terms, really? And then, congratulating someone for helping you get their daughter in there? When it was you had to go under a scheme just to get your daughter in there. You didn't even do it through the legal avenues. Man. Laughlin and her husband, the designer Massimo Giannulli. Wow, she's married to oh wow. Allegedly paid Singer $500,000 to help recruit their daughter to USC as crew coxswains, though it was doubtful whether either had ever set foot in a rowboat. They got her in there on the rowing team? Oh, so the crew is called the coxswains. I didn't even know it was called that. And that she'd be a rower at the school? And she never rowed in her life. Oh my goodness. And probably the parents don't even know how to properly row a boat. Wow. I mean, you could at least do something like the drama club or something else, but something like that, and not having to prove yourself. What does it say for the other people though, who are actually rowers and really want to get there for that? That's not fair. Elsewhere, Huffman responds, "Aw," when Singer tells her that the crook proctor who allegedly took the SATs for one of her daughters in exchange for $15,000 had just had a baby. In another email, she notifies Singer of a possible snag in the scheme and writes, "Roo! Well, you're taking tests for your kids now? Or you're paying other people to do it for them? Really? So you're going to falsify your kid's entrance into the university and, oh wow, I really got in?" No, you really didn't get in. You got in on a whim. A marketing CEO provides Singer with a spidery handwriting sample from her son so that a proctor can ape it on the ACT writing dryly. Good luck on this. Also forging handwriting, so it will look like your kid's handwriting on the SAT when they have to write like an F. You know, you have to do this and you have to write essay on that or handwriting. At one point, Singer has the face of a client's child crudely photoshopped onto the body of a football player to convince an admissions committee that he's a worthy recruit. He doesn't even look like that? Damn! Falsifying photographs, too! And then the admission team, once he gets accepted, we'll never see him again. I mean, like, oh, and they're gonna say, well, look at him, he's not bulked up. Well, he was bulked up at that time, but he lost a lot of weight, and they're gonna justify why he doesn't look like a football player currently. Really? You're just lie under lie. He doesn't even play the sport. Exactly, because he's not buff and doesn't even look like a football player. He's just like a Photoshop photograph, making them pretend to think that he really is. I mean, recruits? I mean, this is for the admission, but actual recruits who want to recruit you into their university need to actually see you play. But then you're just going to go to the admission. You're going to bypass all of that and say, well, but actually, if they see you play, that's actually for scholarships. But in any case, when Singer tells two other clients, one an impact investor at a private equity firm, the other a casino industry executive, some of the finer tricks of the scheme, they respond repeatedly, "I love it." Of course, they got money, they're going to do whatever it takes to get their kid in there, you know? And they're going to say, okay, of course they love the scheme because it's an easy way to get their kid into college when they can't do it on their own. Or maybe they can, but then the parent is too money hungry and they're like, well, oh, you got into this university? Well, no, it's not good enough for us. We're going to pull strings for you to get you into this, you know? Does the kid really want it? Or is it only the parent who wants it? And if it's the kid and the parent, you got a bigger handle on there. For years, it's been known that the college admissions process itself is a kind of scam. In his book, The Price of Admission, from 2006, the investigative journalist Danielle Golden reveals the way in which wealthy parents secure their children's acceptance to prestigious colleges through hefty donations. Yeah, that's been going on for a long time. If you donate so much or you're an alumni of that college, it's easy to get your kid in. Now that I understand. That's very easy. That's more easy and believable, and it's not a big scheme, you know. But the other parts, falsifying stuff, no, that I don't really agree with. And because there's other people who work really hard to get into those universities and who really are those kinds of athletes and who really are those kinds of academic personalities. And then it's not fair. to them that they had to work hard all by themselves, and these other wealthy kids can just eat their way in there with the help of their parents when their parents are in there providing the pie. They just have to eat the pie. In one example, he describes how Charles and Sarah Kushner used a $2.5 million donation to obtain an admission to Harvard for their son, Jared, who's now the president's son-in-law. In conclusion, there's no doubt of the continuity between the two types of admission schemes, and that technically legal one isn't any more ethical than the other. Of course, paying your way in with that much money, that's not legal either, but it's the lesser of the two evils in my opinion. This week's exposure of the college admission scam is significant exactly because, in its trite ordinariness, it makes granular and concrete what is usually abstract and difficult to pin down. The parents who responded, "I love it," to Singer's criminal propositions reminded me, viscerally, of Donald Trump Jr.'s breezy email reply when in 2016 he was told of a Russian source's ability to share dirt on Hillary Clinton. "If it's why you say I love it." When the email was revealed in 2017, I felt a similar satisfaction. In both cases, casual corruption, usually obscured by several layers of secrecy and legal trickery, was finally laid bare. The people involved were so self-satisfied and secure in their power that they greeted unethical, perhaps felonious proposals with complete nonchalance. Yeah, because some people who do things that are not legal, they just dismiss it as whatever, I don't care. But, you need to care because it's going to bite you in the ass one day. Maybe not now, but somewhere down the line, it will eventually. A memorable passage in Carrie Rue's Bad Blood describes how Tyler Schultz, a young employee at the Theranos who ended up being one of the whistleblowers who brought down the company, finally gets to see what is inside the company's newfangled Edison device, touted by Holmes as a miracle machine that will transform blood testing. The device seemed to consist of nothing more than a pipette fastened to a robotic arm that moved back and forth on a gantry. Schultz and a colleague had envisioned some sort of sophisticated microfluidic system, but this seemed like something a middle schooler could build in their garage. Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory, or Sheldon. Oh yeah, no, the college one. Sheldon from Young Sheldon, the TV show. He even could create something while he was in high school at 9 years old. Create something that would work for that type of thing, What's inside the sleek machine is ugly and dumb and workaday. Yeah, Sheldon can create that or something even better because he's so smart. But the moment when the facade is torn away from what lies beneath is also the moment when one hopes real change can begin. And you see that, if you see something that's 6th grade level out of a college graduate or someone who had this big idea, they play it big, but then they show it small. And people who don't see it for what it is will believe you. But people who actually go in there and investigate and see what it really is and find out that it's not what it was concocted to be, can really bring it to light, and then it hurts that person in the end, I mean, once you got a lot of people to back you up because they haven't seen really what it is, of course they'll help you promote your product and you'll get a lot of money and make this whole hype. But in the end, you'll get caught in the end when you produce the product and it doesn't really do anything magical for you, I mean, these people will get into college, but what if you put them on the football field? What if you put them on the rowing team? It will mess up the whole football team. It will mess up the whole rowing team. Of course the coach will see that he can't really play. Or maybe the parents will pay the coach off for him just to be on the bench, and pay him off just for their son to be seen as part of the team. But then he never actually plays, and they just put him on the bench, and then they come up with a whole lot of excuses of why he's just always on the bench and never plays, or just put him in the back as a defense or as a guard or something, you know. But I'm not sure if, like, the rowing team, they can really do anything for that. Maybe she can be the one who is the commander and tells them to, like, row, 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 puts them in the momentum. But aside from that, if she's not really good at rowing, she can't be more than that in my opinion. So I don't know how they're going to justify that. But when you pay a lot of money to coaches and to other people, they can make the reality disappear and create a lie to make it look justifiable. And, you know, when it gets found out, you pay the consequences. And with that, I conclude this video. Please check my links down below, my social media, and check out what I'm selling, and please support and shop with me, and comment and message me or email me with anything that you would like to see in a further video, or message me if you see anything you'd like to buy from what I'm selling in my links. And have a nice rest of your day, and have a great week. I'm out.